I'm Imogen Smith, and I'm playing Susan, the alcoholic vicar's wife in Bed Among the Lentils.
Alcoholic. And how are you finding early rehearsals?
A marvellous fun. Marvellous fun. The pieces are so well written that there's a huge amount to find in them. So it's lovely to explore it all.
I play a lady called Muriel Carpenter, who's in her late 50s and is very recently bereaved. Her husband Rolf was a real kind of staunch friend, so she's in a bit of pain, particularly at the beginning of this, but she's a very stoical character, so she likes to make the best of things.
And what is it that you most like about Muriel?
I think I like her stoicism, I like her determination, and her will to make things work and to make the best of everything. I think it comes at a price for her, because although she's very optimistic, she puts a kind of good spin on things. I think sometimes that masks the pain that she's actually in, and she has a tendency to put herself very much at the bottom of the list. So I find myself very fond of her character, but also quite wanting to slap her sometimes.
Well, I'm playing Doris, and the name of the monologue is Cream Cracker Under the Settee. And Doris is a widow, living on her own, having a daily help who's coming along to look after her and the home and to assess her, to see if she's able to live on her own, or perhaps she should be living in Stafford House.
What are the challenges coming up that you see in rehearsals towards performance?
Learning it all. Making sure there's enough variety. If it's one voice for 40 minutes, you have to be entertaining. Keeping hold of everything we know about her, but not letting all of it out all at once.
Doris is a feisty lady. She's not going to go to Stafford House under any conditions, and she'll find every possible way of doing that. She's not going to have any nonsense whatsoever. And she reminisces about Wilfred, her husband, who obviously was a very important part of her life, and they were quite a devoted, insular couple. And he obviously has died several years ago, so there's not huge grief at the moment, but there's a great deal of love and very, very fond memories.
And given where we are in rehearsals right now, or where you are in rehearsals right now, what would you say are the biggest sort of challenges that are facing you?
Well, learning the words. There are an awful lot of words. That's one of the things. And because Alan Bennett writes so beautifully, and is a real wordsmith, so he picks every word very carefully. One of the challenges is to make sure that I keep very much to the exact words, but also I think to look behind why he's chosen that particular word, because there always is a reason why he's been so particular. And it's just lovely material to work with, really.
What do you think the experience is going to be like for the audience, whether it's going to be fun or sad or...
Oh, it would be great fun. The Cream Cracker Under the Settee will be funny. Great deal of other emotions that will come along the way, but Doris is a character, and she responds so well to all the conditions along the way that are being forced upon her. And feisty lady. She'll be very funny.
I had my life planned out, or half of it at any rate. I wasn't clear about the first part, but at the stroke of 50, I was all set to turn into a wonderful woman. The wife to a doctor or a vicar's wife, the chairman of the parish council, a pillar of the WI. A wise, witty, and ultimately white-haired old lady who's always stood on her own 2 feet, until one day, at the age of 80, she comes out of the county library, falls under the weight of her improving book, breaks her hip and dies peacefully, continently, and without fuss under a snowy coverlet in the cottage hospital. And coming out of her funeral on a bright winter's afternoon, in a country church on a bright winter's afternoon, people would say, well, she was a wonderful woman.